It takes a real dedication to see beauty in the world where there is so much distortion and brokenness. It's a real discipline to focus your mind in a way where you can see the beauty in even the suffering and the sorrow that exists in this world. But it is so important to see beauty in the world right now. It is so important because we are energy transmitters and receivers. Try and think about when you're listening to someone talk and they may be saying a very similar message to something that you have heard from somebody else for many different occasions. They could be, especially when people talk about spiritual things, they often say the same things. There's certain common concepts that people talk about, but you can have one person speak it to you and you're like, yeah, okay, I get that. And you can have another person and you can just be like, yep, yeah, I heard that before a million times. Or you can have another person speak it and suddenly you see a whole different perspective. That's because words are just symbols. They are carriers for the frequency behind the words that is coming from the person speaking or even the person writing. A lot of very beautiful teachers like Dr. Robert Gilbert spoke about how when you're reading an esoteric text, try tap into the information download that the person who channeled this information got, who then translated it through their culture and filters and words. So you can tap into the source, the essence of what created that form or that concept, because ultimately we're all vibrational expressions and emanations. And one way where you can test that, and something that is a very prominent concept in biogeometry is the physics of quality. So you can sense the quality of something in how it makes you feel. So if you eat quality food that's cooked with love and nutrition, it can make you feel in a really wholesome, nourishing, beautiful way. And if you look at colors, certain colors can affect you. If you really look at them, you have to be present. To feel the quality of something, you have to be present with it. You can't be in mind stories and word games. But the quality of something affects the way that you feel. Just like when a person is speaking to you or when a person is looking at you or engaging with you, they may say the same words or do the same behaviors as other people, but you can have a whole different experience. It's because we are emanating. I'm a kitten climbing up my jacket. Stop it. We are emanating energy to each other. And people get so caught up on what are the right words and what is the truth and what are the right concepts and what is imagination and what is real and what is fake and what is true. And those are all just structures that human beings invented. Words, concepts, true, not true. What is real is what you feel in the moment, the direct experience that you're having with the person or the animal or the tree or the virtual environment that you're interacting with, and you can feel what's coming through or what's being taken from you. So I urge you to try this experiment, to try and sense the beauty in something that you're engaging with. Because beauty is sort of like an umbrella term that describes something that you're connecting with and is activating you. It's getting a bit warm. Sometimes when I do these talks, I get really warm, even though it's quite cold here. There was one where I just burnt up. I just started burning up. But because I am channeling concepts that I'm speaking about concepts that I brought through in different channelings for my own work, through the activation work that I do with the earth and with the sun and with my clients. And this is one that's come through so strongly, and because it came through as a frequency, I'm trying to speak it in so many different angles and so many different ways so that people can actually hear what I'm trying to say, because it is so important for people to understand what I'm trying to say. And that is that something that is beautiful is alive and it's spontaneous. A beautiful moment between you and a stranger is something that leaves you feeling touched and connected. A beautiful sunset or view when you're hiking, or a really cute animal. Kitten wants to eat my chips. or a beautiful piece of poetry. In that moment, something in you is being activated and opened, and there is an appreciation, a gratitude, an awe and a grace. Beauty is like the side effect of divinity. And divinity can be found in so many different aspects of life. Anything really that's created in the world has divinity in it. Even machines, anything that's been created. So I urge you to try an experiment, and whoever and whatever you're listening to or observing or watching, whether it's on, here on YouTube or some other platform, or the clouds in the sky, or the bugs flying in the air, or your animals, or the interactions between your coworkers at work, or just anything that you're observing, I urge you to try and pinpoint what's beautiful about it, to look for the beauty. It does require you to open your heart a bit, because to see beauty, you really often see it through your heart. And if your heart has been shut down, then please go back to some of my other videos about how to unblock a blocked or shut down heart, or connect with me and I can help you do that. But I urge you to use your heart to see what's beautiful, and you'll notice a whole different direct experience with that moment. And what you may not realize is that when you are feeling that beauty, you're emanating. You're glowing, and a resonance is coming off of you into the atmosphere. And the butterfly effect of that is bringing coherence and harmony and symmetry and order into the universe at large, to the environment. And for the peaceful warriors, those who really want to bring back peace and higher things to our world, who are so heartbroken about what's happening, which is so understandable. I get why you're there. Please spare yourself some moments frequently, if you really want to make a change, to see the beauty and to connect with the beauty, and then to use that discernment with whatever you're connecting with. Is there beauty in this that you're receiving, that you're appreciating? Or is what you're watching, affecting you in a way where you're going into a mindset or a state of being that causes you to feel othered, higher or lower to the rest of the world, or disconnected, or justified, or, you know, I know that sometimes when you've been feeling really small and people have done things to belittle you, or you feel misunderstood, sometimes the ego does need a boost. It does need to feel a bit stronger. And I think, you know, people listening to rap music and stuff like that, there is purpose for that. But understand that if you really are someone who comes from that humanitarian perspective, such as myself, or you just, want a more beautiful experience with your family or your partner or your community or your environment or your pets, remember that when you go into the state of feeling and coherence, when you're creating something beautiful, or you're seeing beauty in yourself, oh my gosh, that's one of the most powerful things, is when you see beauty in yourself. When you're seeing beauty in some of the forces and structures within this world, within the magic, within the mystical, within the fact that we're transmitters, this is one of the most powerfully supportive things you can do in the reshaping of our collective consciousness right now. It is no conspiracy or made-up thing that we emanate. It's been measured. Go to the Heart Math Institute. There's a lot of information about that there. We're emanators. And if you study science, if you study physics, you'll notice that when you emanate, you create a field, and that field, it interacts with the other fields. And then you can even look at quantum entanglement. You know, whatever you are and whatever you're connected to, blood-wise, frequency-wise, consciousness-wise, whatever you resonate with, you then affect and alter everything else that's linked to you in your genetic resonance, in your soul resonance. So I cannot tell you how important it is to choose to focus on what you find beautiful at this time. And please don't be fooled. I am not this happy hippie that skips around love and lighting all day long. I see a lot of darkness. I work as a healer, I work as a therapist, and I have so much empathy, and I come across wounded, broken, distorted, messed up people who, and stories where messed up things have happened, you know, really messed up, that make you just think, oh my God, I just want to hide away from the world. I just want to run away from the world. I want to run away from people. And I get that a lot. So please know, I understand if you are struggling with something, or you have felt blocked or numb, or I don't know what my kitten is doing in there, but I'm hoping she's not destroying things. I understand. So, and I understand how hard it is to go from feeling constricted like that, of feeling apathetic, or feeling distrustful or resentful of the world, or lacking in faith, or lacking in self-belief, to then shift your frequency to something that is like beautiful. But how you can get there is you start by honoring what draws your attention. And sometimes, unfortunately, the things that draw people's attention when they're in really low frequency places are substances that cause you to forget your circumstances, or dopamine hits, or sexual encounters that just boost you for a moment. And yes, there's a lot of destructiveness in all of those, but there's also something beautiful about your connection with that. And that's what I want you to focus on. Is, say you're somebody who just needs to have a lot of sexual encounters to feel desirable or beautiful or worthy, and you do that, but then it somehow gets messy or it creates a lot of damaging situations, you can acknowledge those damaging situations and try not get yourself in circumstances with people like that. But you can also see the beauty of why you're going there, and that you're wanting to connect, that you're wanting to have a unified experience of bliss or, ecstasy with someone. So when you identify what it is that's beautiful about that, you see, where else can I see this kind of ecstatic beauty? And maybe you can see it in an experience of dancing or an experience of breath work. And even with substances, sometimes people like to take substances because it makes them feel more carefree and more childlike. And so then recognize the thing that you're drawn to is feeling more creative or more carefree, and then consciously, without the substance, try and reconnect with those things. There will be signposts and guides and the things that you're drawn to that will guide you to more direct wholesome interactions with divinity and with beauty. So follow the breadcrumbs and don't beat yourself up. Try and eliminate the destructive habits or interactions that come with the breadcrumbs, and look for the spark of the wholesome, innocent beauty in those breadcrumbs, and follow those to what is calling you. And allow yourself, as hard as it is with people's scattered attentions now from social media and TikTok, to just sit with that and contemplate that and breathe the experience consciously of interacting with that for a moment, and be aware that when you're feeling that in you, just for a moment, that you're resonating, you're emitting, and in that emission, you're saving the world. Beauty will save the world. You resonating with beauty will save the world. It's not to say you have to be, some women feel like they have to be so beautiful because maybe they were very beautiful when they were young, and that's what people knew them for, and they felt like they needed to maintain it, or that's how they feel they'll get love. And then they start aging and they feel like they lose their worth. Yes, that kind of beauty also is very powerfully emanating coherence into the world, but appreciate the beauty of your being in all the different stages. And to connect with beauty, it doesn't have to be that you're beautiful. It's that your mind is on something beautiful. Or for a moment, you've been able to open yourself up to something beautiful without trying to capture it or contain it or amplify it or corrupt it or consume it. That's when the divine really activates you and emanates from you. When you see something beautiful and you don't try to just, it's mine, I've got it, I'm going to hold it, or I'm beautiful, I'm going to try to stay beautiful forever, or there's more sinister things that people do with beauty is they want to consume it. It activates these violation power dynamics. If you can just witness the beauty in awe and let it expand your heart, and whatever activations it does to you, and just in reverence let it be, that's when you're with the divine. You're in flow. You're in a flow state, and you're emanating into the collective atmosphere. So that's just my little talk in trying to share with you a download that I got that is hard to put into words. So please let me know if this made sense. And I know I talk slowly, so you can also speed up my talking. It's because I'm listening and I'm speaking at the same time. after that. So there's sometimes a delay. But I really hope that someone is able to be touched by this download that I got, this guidance that I got about how incredibly important it is to connect with things that you find beautiful and to make time and space for sitting with them in stillness and in silence without trying to corrupt or consume them or take them or hold them or protect them or save them, just with the ephemeral nature of beauty. Anyway, much love to you all. I hope that today or tomorrow or whenever you watch this, the universe presents you as something beautiful that you can feel coherently is keeping you in an aligned and expansive place, and you can sit with it. And I say a prayer for all of those who have found this and who are watching this and who are hearing this and who are really receiving and taking this in, that they be blessed with beautiful portals, moments of beauty that will come like a vortex to transmute them and transform them onto a timeline that is more resonant with the emanations that come from their hearts when they connect with the beauty. I say this prayer for you. I spin the spiral energy through the atmosphere and the vortices that are already active to reach you through all the wormholes, through all the astral structures. My resonance of appreciating divinity and beauty is now reaching you so that you may be gifted with a portal, a wormhole of beauty and the reverence and the divinity when you connect your attention and consciousness with the beauty, and it spirals you into a field where you attract more and more of that experience, of that divine recognition of yourself and everything in you, and the beauty that is you for even being able to see the beauty in the other. And that's what I wish for you. Much love.